Good morning to all. Myself, Dr. TV Nagaraju. I am working as an associate professor in Department of IT, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. In the last session, we discussed two important keywords for handling the exception. One is try and another one is catch. What is try and catch? The set of statements that may generate exception is written inside the try block. If there is an exception, then the corresponding catch block is executed. If there is no exception in the try block, the catch block is not executed. Now, this try and catch block is followed by one more block, that is finally. Now, in this session we will discuss what is finally, how finally is used for handling the exception. In the simple case, for example, consider a program. In that program, some part of the statements are there, some set of statements are available. Your aim is always you need to execute some set of statements. Whether exception occurred in your program or whether exception is not occurred in our program, or whether exception is occurred and you are not handled the exception, whether exception is occurred and you handle the exception, whatever the scenario occur in our program, you always need to execute some set of statements. Generally, that compulsory executable statements are written inside the finally block. That means, what is the statement? Finally is always executed, whether an exception is handled or not handled. Exception is handled or not handled. Therefore, it contains all the necessary statements. So, whether you handle or not handle, whether occur or not occur, you want to execute, written inside the finally block. Generally, the finally block follows the try catch. Suppose consider a program that are related to database. At last, you need to close all the connections. By mistake, if an abnormal termination occurred, the connections are still open. But if you close the connection statements inside the finally block, even though abnormal termination occurred, finally block is executed, the connections are closed. So, all the closing of the files, connections, all the cleanup activities are written inside the finally block. See this one. In my program, an exception is occurred. Yes or no? If an exception is not occurred, no problem. Finally is executed. If an exception is occurred, yes. Whether you handle the exception or not, if you handle the exception, fine. In that case, finally is executed. If you not handle the exception, fine. In that case also, finally is executed. That means in all the cases, finally is executed. Now, we will move to whatever the case I discussed, we will move to one by one. What is case 1? Exception does not occur in your program. Second, exception is occurred but not handled by the catch block. When exception is occurred and handled by the catch block. Exception is occurred and handled by the catch block. Now, I will discuss all the three cases. Class, demo, finally, public, static, void main, string args, scanner, some sc is equal to new scanner of system.in. Okay, read two variables st.next int of. Now, int b is equal to sc.next int of. Here I am reading two variables. Now, write inside the try block int C is equal to A by B. Simple operation, and I am printing the value of C. System dot out dot println C. I am printing the value of C. Close this try block. Now catch arithmetic exception, some object E, system dot out dot println E. Close this catch block. Generally, after try and catch, you are writing finally like this. Finally, system dot out dot println. Here I will write some code. Suppose my code is always executed. Just for understanding, I written such type of code. Finally block is executed, and system dot out dot println rest of the code. Close this main, close this class. Now observe in my program what happened. Just to division operation, and I have one catch block and finally block, and then rest of the program, and then rest of the program. Now save this program. .java. Open the command prompt. Java C space demo finally dot Java. Okay, what is the error? You need to import scanner class. Okay, import java dot util dot star. Now coming to my cases. What are my cases? The first case is when exception does not occur in your program. I will execute the program according to that one. Now import java dot util dot star scanner sc is equal to new scanner of, that is fine. Import java dot one second, execute. Cannot find the symbol. Scanner sc is equal to new scanner of system dot in. Oh, sorry, already exec compiled. I see the previous error. Okay, java space demo finally. The program is compiled successfully. Actually, I saw the previous error. Now enter a value 2, b value, a value 10, b value 2. What happened? 10 by 2, that is 5. In that case, an exception is not generated. Press enter. See this one. C is equal to 5. 5 is printed. Catch block is not executed, and the statement written inside the finally is executed, and then rest of the code is executed. Now case 1. Even an exception does not occur, finally is executed. Clear? Now second case. Exception is occurred but not handled by the catch block. Exception is occurred but not handled. Suppose instead of arithmetic, if I written this one, null pointer, the exception is generated as arithmetic, but my catch block is null pointer. What happened? An abnormal termination occurred. an abnormal termination occur. In that case also, remember, before abnormal termination, first this code is printed, first finally is executed, and then only abnormal termination occurred. Observe the output. 10, 0. See this one? 10 by 0. In my program, I have no arithmetic exception. So, there is no catch block. Finally is executed and then abnormal termination occurred. Remaining part of the code is not executed. You clear the point? Coming to my third case. What is my third case? An exception is generated and you handle the exception. In case what happened? Here exception is generated, catch block is printed, and then finally is printed, and then rest of the code is printed. 10, 0. See this one? First catch block is printed, and then finally is printed, and then rest of the code is printed. Now you got the point. What are the different cases? These are the different cases of finally block. Clear? Finally, generally, finally is used to execute some important code in your program always, whether you handle the exception or not handle the exception, whether exception is generated or not generated, whatever the case, finally is executed. Clear? Now, in the next session, we will discuss two more keywords are there for handling the exception. Those are throw and throws. We will discuss those two keywords in the next session. That's the end of today's session. Thank you.